Hello there viewers, and welcome back to Timbo's Oz Navy News. It's been a while. I've taken a break from YouTube for the last couple of years, but I'm back again with a new series and a new enthusiasm for covering news of the Australian Navy. Let's get into today's headlines. Defence Industry Minister Pat Conroy is confident AUKUS will continue at full steam following the inauguration of Donald Trump as the US President. HMAS Hobart sails for Navy's first regional presence deployment for 2025. HMAS Brisbane returns home after 5-month deployment to the United States. Austal to build 2 evolved Cape-class patrol boats for the Australian Border Force. And should the Navy get the Japanese Megami or German Miko A200 frigates? And are you confident that the first ship will be in the water by 2029? Let us know which ship you think would serve the Navy best and put your comments below. Let's get into it. The Albanese government is confident the Trump administration will stay the course of the AUKUS submarine deal following Trump's inauguration as US President on Monday.
AUKUS will continue at full steam. It's survived changes of government in 2 of the 3 countries already, in the United Kingdom and Australia, and I'm sure it will continue even stronger into the future.
But so far, Trump is keeping his own opinion on the trilateral partnership quiet, although the new US Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, said AUKUS was almost a blueprint for how the US could work with partner nations to confront global challenges.
Who in his confirmation hearings said that AUKUS is the model he'd like to see replicated. The Trump administration has been very positive about AUKUS. That included in the first telephone conversation between President Trump and Prime Minister Albanese.
The remarks from the Secretary of State are exceedingly positive regarding AUKUS. What we've seen out of the US is nothing but total bipartisanship around the AUKUS program, and I think that gives us a lot of confidence.
The government has committed another $262 million to put Australian businesses centre stage in the submarine supply chain.
This investment will support Australian businesses to invest in their people, security capabilities and technology to make sure they meet the high standards required for submarine building and sustainment, both for the Australian Defence Force and our AUKUS partners.
The funding boost will underpin multiple defence initiatives, including the Defence Industry Development Grants Program, the Global Supply Chain Program, and the Defence Industry Vendor Qualification Program.
So AUKUS is about our nation's capability and our ability to be able to protect ourselves from a potential adversary. But on the back of that is also an opportunity to have the biggest improvement in our economic and industrial complexity that has ever occurred since Federation.
More than 120 defence businesses will feel the impact across the country as they prepare to start work on their biggest project yet, building the AUKUS submarines. HMAS Hobart sailed from Sydney on 6th January for a 6-week regional presence deployment to Southeast Asia. The Green Ghost stopped in at Darwin and departed on 17th January before participating in exercise La Parise 25, a biannual exercise led by a French carrier strike group. 13 ships and 130 aircraft from France, Australia, Canada, the US, Malaysia, Indonesia, the UK and Singapore are participating in the exercise, which is being held over 2 stages from 16th to 20th January, focusing on the Malacca and Sunda Straits, then from the 21st to the 24th of January around the Lombok Strait. The objective of the exercise is to provide maritime safety in the 3 critical straits through the French Navy, operating with regional and international partners and sharing information and coordinating actions against multiple threats by using the Indo-Pacific Information Sharing Platform. The French CSG, consisting of carrier FS Charles de Gaulle, destroyer FS Forbin, frigates FS Provence and Alsace, fleet oiler FS Jacques Chevalier, and a nuclear-powered attack submarine, is conducting a deployment to the Indo-Pacific known as Clemenceau 25, which started in the last week of November last year. HMAS Brisbane returned to Sydney on the same day the HMAS Hobart sailed for its RPD after completing a 5-month deployment, which included the successful launch of the first Tomahawk cruise missile from an Australian warship off the US coast. The deployment also included joint exercises with the US Navy and maintenance programs at the US Navy base in San Diego. Austal has been awarded a $137 million contract to build 2 evolved Cape-class patrol boats for the Australian Border Force. The new contract brings the total number of Evolved Cape-class boats to be built by Austal to 12, with 8 delivered to date to the Navy, and 2 more under construction. Austal Limited Chief Executive Officer Paddy Gregg said the 2 additional Evolved Cape-class boats for the ABF will further enhance the capabilities of Maritime Border Command and Operation Sovereign Borders. It is likely that additional boats will also be ordered for the ABF over coming years, according to a report by Naval News. An independent analysis of the Navy's surface fleet recommended that the RAN and ABF procure a common fleet of up to 19 Evolved Cape-class patrol boats for border protection and civil maritime missions. The Canadian Navy is in the process of ditching our favourite centuries-old March Heart of Oak due to its male-centric and colonialist overtones. Can you believe it? Documents uncovered in an access to information request showed briefing notes and email exchanges between Royal Canadian officials seeking ways to modernise the 265-year-old march that is also played on ceremonial occasions by other Commonwealth navies, including Australia. Well, that's this week's show. I hope you've enjoyed it. Until next time, that is all.